Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sara Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today, we're continuing to explore more techniques you can do with the Sherbet collection from 49 and Market. This time, we're using some of their beautiful 4-inch wide collage fabric tape, plus wishing bubbles and baubles, and their postmark postage washi tape. I'll also use some of the pattern papers from the Sherbet 6x8 collection pack, which you can also see in the webisode from June 12th. Of course, everything is totally coordinated, which makes it so much fun and so easy to use. Now I have a couple of card projects to share with you today and some demos too. As you can see, we have a lot to explore, and I'm really glad you're here. Come play with us. Let's begin with the collage fabric tape. Now this is a little bit like washi tape in that it is a decorative tape that can be used in lots of different ways. And also like washi tape, there is an element of translucency to it. So I think you can see my hand shining through this lighter portion down here. Now, the other thing that is wonderful about this is that because it's fabric, it gives your projects a slightly different texture. And the design, of course, because it's 49 and Market, is beautiful. And here you can see, I've just pulled off a length of this so that you can see how it goes from this beautiful teal into the pink, the orange, that gorgeous soft yellow, and beautiful sort of spring green, and then back into the teal down here at the bottom. Absolutely stunning. And because it's repositionable, you do have some flexibility there as well. So you can mix and match and pull it back up if you've placed it someplace that you have changed your mind about. Now, the easiest way to use it, of course, is to simply place it down on your paper like I've done here. But there are lots of other options. So if you just put it down on your cardstock or paper, you'll have a beautiful background. And from here, you can use it as is. You can also cut it with a paper trimmer, or you can die cut it. Now, you can use your scissors just to cut this right off the roll. The other option you have is with the box itself. It comes with this sliding cutter, which you can just clip right onto the front of the box, and then simply place your tape inside, position this down, and then just use this to slide across, and you can get a perfectly cut piece of that gorgeous collage fabric tape. So quick and easy to simply place it down onto your background paper and then do all kinds of fun things with it. So let's take a look at using this in combination with cutting dies. So I have a card project here that I want to show you. Now this one is using the background from the Sherbet 6x8 paper collection. Then as my focal, I have a scalloped square layered die cut. That provides a spotlight for my butterfly. Now the butterfly, of course, is a cutting die. And the dies that I'm using for this and throughout today's webisode are from the butterflies set from hot off the press. Now here you can see you've got 6 cutting dies, 3 of the silhouette and 3 of the detail. They can be used individually and they can also be layered together, as you can see here. So what I've done is simply taken my beautiful collage fabric tape and placed it onto some white cardstock, and then just took the largest of the silhouettes and simply placed it down. You can kind of figure where on there you might want it to go. I think I had it right about here. Secure it down with a little bit of hunky-dory low-tack tape just to make sure it doesn't slide around, and then run it through your die cutting machine. And you can do this a lot because of course you've got lots of that gorgeous fabric tape, so you can have all kinds of beautiful butterflies which you can use together or singly. So very much fun, and it is a great way to get a really striking and easy focal piece. So let me scoot these aside and we'll take another look at the card. Now here with this square, I have inked that with a little bit of my Prism wild mushroom ink pad, and I've mounted things up on some foam tape. The butterfly is up on foam tape to accommodate for this little bit of jute twine, and then the square is up on foam tape as well. I have a thank you dazzle going across here, and the outside edge of this card is also inked with the mushroom. Now for my card inside, I have another snippet of pattern paper. Of course, I'm going to save and use every little bit of this that I can. And I've got another die cut butterfly silhouette here. Now you might wonder if the detail butterflies can also be die cut with the fabric tape. And the answer is yes. I was a little surprised. I thought it might not work. It might get a little bit be a little bit too fine, but it works beautifully, and it gives me the option to stack and layer these and add even more dimension in here as well. So the answer is yes. You can use that collage fabric tape for the silhouettes or for the details of your butterflies as well. Now you can also notice that I've got 3 of the postmark washi tape elements, and I've just placed those right here on my paper. Now I have a few more ideas for using those, so let's take a look. Here I'm using the washi tape as part of my background. So you can see this entire piece right here is made up of postmark images, which are all from this little roll of postage washi tape. It is a great, fun way of creating some larger styles of backgrounds. It gives you lots of flexibility as well. So when you're working with your washi tape, it will come on a roll like this, and all you need to do is just decide which images you want. You can just simply tear them off, or you can snip them off with scissors if you'd prefer. Now, as with the fabric tape, probably the easiest way to use this is to place it onto some white cardstock, and then you can kind of figure out what you want to do with it. Now with the tape, you've got 8 different images, and you can see them all here. Of course, they are all designed to color coordinate perfectly with the other elements in the sherbet collection. So you can see just how beautifully that goes with the fabric tape. So what I like to do is simply place the images down onto my white cardstock, and then I can decide if I want to cut them into groups. If I want to have a long border, I can also do something like that. You can cut them down individually or in clusters if you wish. So lots of different things that you can do with this. Now in this case, what I've done is applied the washi tape onto my white cardstock, and you'll notice that I've got things more or less lined up, but I do have the images slightly offset. Then what I've done is just use my paper trimmer to trim the edges evenly, and I inked around those outside edges with the wild mushroom ink pad, and then just added this piece to my card front with some foam tape. That's going to give a little bit of lift as well. The front of my card is covered with paper from the 6x8 paper pad, and then I have a circle die cut with a butterfly die cut right here, and this is just cut from white cardstock. Now my hello and these 3 little dots here, these are all from the Wishing Bubbles and Baubles sheet, which has all kinds of epoxy stickers that of course will match the papers and the washi tape and the fabric tape too. Now, one little trick I want to give you, especially with these really intricate butterflies, if you're wondering how to adhere them down, I really recommend the sticky specs. That's what I have used throughout, and it's a really easy way to get just the center of that butterfly body, or even those beautiful intricate lacy wings, adhered down to your surface without the mess of wet glue or the bulk of a double-sided tape. So sticky specs are what I use for this. I've got this circle up on some foam tape to again accommodate a little bit of that jute twine on there. Then for my card inside, I have another strip of pattern paper. I've got 2 more postmarks on here and some epoxy bubbles, and then of course some dazzles to go along. All right, I have another card that I want to show you. So let me bring this one in here. Now on this card, I'm using a combination of the fabric tape and the washi tape to create a collage. So first I placed the fabric tape onto plain white cardstock, and then I used my paper trimmer just to cut 3 strips. So I've just placed this down on my sliding paper trimmer, trimmed off 3 equal width strips, and then used my scissors to trim the ends at an angle. And then I've glued them onto the front of my card. Then I've used my washi tape here, again on just plain cardstock, and snipped apart, and those are popped up on some foam tape. I have a scallop circle die also with a fabric tape butterfly. And then I've got my 3 little dots on here also from the Wishing Bubbles and Baubles pack. Then for my card inside, again, I've got some more of this beautiful patterned paper, plus another postmark and another die cut circle, plus a script dazzle word. Now you may have noticed on the front of my card, I've got this kind of polka dot effect, some spattering on here. This is a really fun and easy technique that works especially well for adding a subtle pattern, a little bit of dimension to an otherwise clean and simple card. So let me show you this. I'm going to bring in just a plain piece of white cardstock, and working onto my craft mat, I'm also going to bring in my Midnight Black dye ink pad. So this is important that you use your dye-based ink for this rather than a solvent ink such as a StazOn, because a dye-based ink pad is meant to interact with water, which is what we're going to use. So I've just pressed a little bit of that ink directly onto my craft mat, and then I'm going to just mist a little bit of water right next to it, not directly into it because that can cause the ink to sort of kick back. I'll take a water brush and just make a nice watery wash here. And then I'm going to hold my water brush, and you can use a paintbrush for this too. I'm going to hold this perpendicular to my cardstock and then just tap this right on here. And that's going to give me that really fun spattered effect. Now you'll notice that my spatters all sort of went in a specific direction. So if I turn this a little bit, then I might get a bit more random effect. So do feel free to kind of turn your cardstock around as you go. You can add as much or as little as you want to, and then just let that dry. I'm going to clean up my craft mat while I still can. Let this dry, and then you will be ready to go, and you can add your various elements on there. Okay, I have one more card to show you, so I'm going to clean this all up and then we'll take a look. Our final card features the fabric tape used with the dies in a slightly different way. So when you die cut an image like the butterfly, you're going to have a positive and a negative piece. So I've been using the butterfly shape itself, but of course you've still got this piece left over, which can also be put to good use. So it just takes a little bit of planning. In this case, before I die cut my butterfly, I kind of figured out where I wanted it to go and where I wanted it to be cut from this main piece. Then I can take this butterfly and set it to one side, use it for another project, and focus on the creative potential of this piece here. Now what I've done with this is simply backed it with a piece of coordinating pattern paper from the 6x8 paper pack and just glue the two of those together. I can leave this as is, or I can also die cut one of the detail pieces, the matching butterfly. In this case I just die cut it from plain white cardstock and use some sticky specks to simply glue it in place. Of course you can glue just the body and have those wings that can be lifted up, or you can glue it completely flat. So the choice is yours. And that's what I've done for the centerpiece of this card. So all 3 of the butterfly silhouettes are die cut from this piece, and then I've got it backed with another piece of that beautiful 6x8 collection pattern paper. 3 of the white butterflies glued just with the bodies, and then I've also added some of the epoxy stickers right in the center. Then for my card inside, I've got this beautiful butterfly piece right in here, completely inset, And I've added some dazzles and another butterfly die cut up here in the top corner. And this is our final card project for the day today. Thank you to our friends at 49 and Market for this really stunning collection. And of course, a big thank you to you for joining me here today. We're so very glad that you're here, and we're really happy you're a part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. Be sure to see the money saver on the right side of your screen at paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.